Happy Navratri to all of you from Bronzing Geek Anjana. The third day of Navratri. Goddess Durga is worshipped as Chandraghanta on this day and she is dressed in red color. So here I come with an interesting Indo-western look paired up with a nice kundan choker and the bold red look. So let's find out how did I achieve this one. So let's get started. So first up, I'm going to moisturize my face. I'm using this L'Oreal moisturizer. It's very lightweight but quite hydrating for my skin. That's combination to oily. Now girls, I am sitting in front of a huge window and the sunlight keeps fluctuating. So don't get bothered, you will see the exact results. Next up, I went ahead with an eye cream. Everything is optional, whatever suits best for your skin, go with that. I'm using an eye cream because nowadays I'm really lazy on my skincare, so I try to wear my full skincare under my makeup. Next up, let's prime our face. I'm using this Maybelline primer. Use any primer you have, you just don't have to wear what I am wearing. Use the products which you have. So you just need a primer to protect your skin with all the other base products we're going to lay on top of it. Next up is a concealer. So I will first correct myself. So I'm using this My Lovely Peach concealer by LA Girl. Oh my god girls, I'm so obsessed and I've been using this every single time and it's almost at the verge of finishing off. Now this is one of those products which I will be finishing in like less than 3 months and I have already reordered my new one. So it's that good. Now a lot of you were asking how much it can correct. If you have facial hairs like mine, it can cover up that, but if you have too much of pigmentation going around, then you can go ahead with the orange corrector, or for the dark circles, orange corrector. Next up, I went ahead with my trusty foundation, the L'Oreal True Match, because it has a little glow to it and accidentally I put a lot of on my lips. But this is one of the perfect foundation to wear for any festive, or for that matter any weddings, any other occasion. This is the best foundation to go for. And the blender I'm using is by Studio West. It's a nice blender. Next up, my face doesn't match with my body, so I thought let me just put a lot of foundation on my neck, because the dress I am wearing has a U neck, so it should not look uneven. So I went ahead with a good amount of foundation on my neck area. Next up, we are going to set our face with a setting powder. So I'm using this LA Girl Pro HD powder. Now one of my favorite and holy grails powder. Oh my god girls, I've already hit pan on this. This is also one of the products which I'm going to finish, like already hit pan less than 3 months. So these are like my go-to product nowadays and they are best suited for summers, like Delhi heat, you know how it is. So this works really well. Next up, let's put some shadows. So I'm using this Marvelous Matte palette. This had this amazing red. You see the red? It's popping. To pop this red, you really have to prep your eyes and don't powder your eye. Yes, I went ahead with powdering, but later off camera I couldn't record that part, that I went ahead and applied a little concealer again, just to give a little wet look to my face, like basically a wet base, and so that my deeper shadows or colorful shadows will stay on, put on. So that's why you can see this red actually shows red. And the best way to apply these shadows is always packing motion, and then later you blend it out. You can even use a tape, but I am not a person who like very sharp edge, so I didn't go ahead with the tape. And you can see there is no fall off as such because the shadows are basically just sticking onto your eyes. Next up, I just went ahead with the same red and applied all over my lower lash line. Just go very light handed, you may just end up putting a little extra. Next up, I wanted something little lighter than this red, so I went ahead into my colourpop Yes Please palette just to smudge out the edges, just to smooth them out. So as you can not see a much difference in both the shades, but yes, it is a little lighter shade than the first shade I applied. Next up, I wanted some shimmer. Now I really don't wanted the shimmer, so I went ahead with glitter, which I just wanted to top it up on my eyes randomly. No precise work, you can put it all over your lid. It will look so good, so glittery, so twinkling. So I just went ahead with this nice glitter. It just sticks on. You don't need a glue, you don't need anything, just use your fingers and pat it. It will stay there. It is not going to move anywhere. But my recommendation would be, if you're using too much of glitter like this, then do your face makeup later. Next up, to give a more finishing touch to my eyes, I went ahead with a liner. The liner I'm using is by Swiss Beauty. Oh my god, girls, again, this is one product I have been obsessing over from the time I've got it. It's one of the best liners, like so inexpensive and easily available. Kajal, I'm using the Color Bar Mesmerize Kajal. Sorry for the light fluctuation. As I mentioned earlier in the video, light keeps fluctuating. Next up is the mascara, but you can actually see my eye look very clearly. So I'm using this Start mascara. Now I'm using this mascara so much because I'm in love with it. I will be buying another one again, but this is one of the best mascaras like I have. Yes, there are many other best mascaras, but this is like the best for me. Next up, let's fill in our brows. So finally I got the time to get my brows done. So I was really waiting for my brows to be done. So I called up the Urban Clap salon and it was amazing. So I really went ahead in with a very sharp brow today, a little more filled in, a little more deeper, but it was nice. I really loved the way look turned out. Next up, let's go in with the blush and other steps. So I went ahead with this nice peachy pinky blush, which has a little like a sheen to it. This is one of my favorite blushes by Miss Claire. Next up, my Physician Formula bronzer. You know, I don't have to tell you how much I'm loving this bronzer at the moment, but this is an amazing bronzer. Like, there are very few good bronzers here, and this really falls into that category of good bronzer. Next up is a highlight. So I'm using this Molten Gold by Maybelline in the gold shade. Oh my god, I'm growing to the goddess. Guys, at times due to this light fluctuation my face starts looking ashy because of the light fluctuation, because when there is too much of light falling on your face and when you're doing makeup it starts showing you ashy, but in actual it is not ashy. Next up, I went ahead with the same highlighter into my inner corners. So I was a little confused which lipstick to wear, but I cannot wear a shocking red here. So again I had to mix it. So I went ahead with the cashmere shade and later I topped it up with my Maybelline lip coloration. So by mixing these two shades, you're actually toning down the red and it complements your eye look, because too much deep going on the face doesn't look good, then your eye will not look good. Next up, to finish up, I used this Kiko Milano fixer. Oh my god, I was like taking bath in it. This is the finished look. I paired myself with the choker. This is a nice Kundan pearl choker, one of my favorites. I've hardly worn this, but this was like actually giving me those festive vibes. So I hope you loved watching this interesting red Navratri look. We'll be back soon with the next one. Till then, you take care of yourself, be safe, don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and yeah, so take care and bye bye.